Hello once again, audience. Welcome to the vlog. Today is... I don't even know, man. It's Monday. Why am I forgetting already? That's crazy. That's crazy. Come on, girls. So we had a bit of a celebratory weekend because your boy hit a health milestone. I have not weighed this little since November, December 2020. So just over 5 years I haven't been this light. So to celebrate, we ate garbage. That's alright, I'm getting back to it. I always try, and after lunch I will have a walk to get the blood sugars, you know, or what is it? You're supposed to move right after you walk to lower the hit of blood glucose or something. I don't know how it works. I do know how it works, I've just forgotten. Anyway, happy Monday. We had to take the boy to the doctors this morning because he's not doing too well. He's alright, he's just got a bit of a rash and we'd kind of rather be safe than sorry. And the other thing we did over the weekend was I cut that tree down that I've been talking about forever. There you go. That's it. And I cut it just enough so that I can get it off the driveway. So there's still a lot more work to be done. I need to now chop it up into usable timber. But shouldn't be too tough. Shouldn't be too tough. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. Coming up into winter soon, which is good timing to bring a tree down because it means we got timber. Warm the house up. That should do us for... I reckon that'll do us for most of winter. If not, I'm sure there's other trees that can cut down. Now, you're supposed to season them. If the trees were alive, you're supposed to leave them for a season to like age, to properly dry the timber out, so that it'll burn well. But this one has been sort of dead and slowly being decayed by termites for a while. So this is ready to burn. Oh, mate, look at this. My beautiful tree that I love because it's got bees all the way through it. It's got a butterfly now. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So beautiful. All the bees and the flowers. Now we've got a big butterfly up top. Oh. This is a beautiful season. Beautiful season. Dad also noticed the other day because Dad came around. There's a tree. It's not happening at the moment, but one of the gums, the gums are flowering. But we walked under it. He's like, "Can you hear that? Like you can hear them from here." Girls, careful! They're gonna get hit by the bees. Just up there, you can see all those flowers up in the gum. We stood under it while we were planning on how to deal with the other tree, and it was just buzzing. The whole tree was buzzing with bees. So we've had a decent amount of rain over the last week or so, which means I will soon need to hop back on the mower. We've got other friends in the area that, same thing, used to spend hours every weekend just to keep the lawn down. But then they got little miniature cows. They're like, now we just move them, that's it. There's no mowing, they just eat. They love it, they're happy. We don't have to mow, so we're happy. If we weren't moving, it's exactly what I'd do. I did make a little bit of progress. So the process of moving, or the process of acquiring a visa, requires me to have some money, like proof of funds, basically prove that I've got a certain amount of income, which can only be done by a local Vanuatu bank. And I've been trying to figure out, like, do I need to create a bank account over there, or can I get them to certify Australian bank records? Anyway, so I got one of my mates out there is lending me a hand. He's got contacts in the banking system, so helping me to open an account, and then I'll basically just move some of my pay each month into that account to show that we make that amount, and then we should be able to use that to apply for the visa. So things are happening. beginning of March now. I reckon by the end of March, we may be able to start the visa application process. I'm not sure how long it'll take me to actually acquire the visas, like to move past application and into, okay, you got residency now, you can come when you're ready. But I reckon April, May, which is good. Because we've talked about multiple different timelines for when we could leave. One of them's kind of out of our hands. There's been proposed tax law changes in Australia for a long time, like pre-COVID these were proposed, and they've been refined ever since, but never really applied. But one of the changes that they're talking about is basically creating a sticky tax residency inside of Australia. So if you're a tax resident inside of Australia, in other words, like this could be somebody who, like me, has sort of lived and worked here forever, or somebody who comes into the country for more than 180 days, 183, I think, days a year, makes you a tax resident, which is what it currently does, but you then remain a tax resident for the next 3 financial years, was what I was reading, which is not great, which means if I was to move somewhere like Vanuatu, where the taxes are significantly reduced, I would still need to report my global earnings, so any money that I make anywhere around the world, to the Australian Tax Office and pay them at their rate. Now, I'm not going to say it's a scam, but if that happens, there's talk about, each year you kind of hear it, okay, from July 1st this year, it's probably going to come into effect, and never does. But that's one of the earliest triggers, is if they announce that, yep, okay, this is actually coming into effect in July, we're going to be out of here in June. Because otherwise, like if we leave in, let's say they do it this year, and from 1st July, you sticky tax resident. If we leave 15th of June, we stop paying tax to Australia 16th of June. If we leave 1st of July, we stop paying taxes 1st of July in 3 years' time. So there's kind of an incentive, we'll say, to leave. I've been frustrated for a long time. One of the reasons for this, I've been very frustrated at the country. There's so much social and political divide and all these different things. Cost of living skyrocketing, cost of everything is skyrocketing. Quality of everything is dropping. People talk about historically when a society or an empire is about to collapse, the cost of everything goes up and the quality of public services plummets. And that's exactly what I've noticed and what I've experienced firsthand over the last couple of years in this country, which is devastating. I love Australia. Hannah's family are all veterans that have fought for this country. My grandparents are buried here. One set of grandparents are buried here, the other ones will be buried here, But it's not the same Australia, and it's really sad because we have, I believe, one of the most beautiful countries on the earth. Truly and genuinely, we are an island all to ourselves. We have rich history, we have beautiful resources, and they're being destroyed by, government mismanagement, a pollution of, a destruction of social cohesion. Is really sad. The Australia that I was born into and that our families have lived in for a long time and Hannah's family fought for, and that Australia's gone. And it's genuinely upsetting. But anyway, so the way I look at it, there's so much opportunity. And I'm struggling because I have, our family holds a belief, right? That it's the husband, it's the father's job to protect, to provide, to go out into the world, to be in the workforce, to earn, to support the family. It is the wife's or the mother's job to raise the children, nurture the children, look after the house, create a home. And these are our strengths, right? Both of us have, like Hannah's an incredible mother. Absolutely incredible mother. And I'm counting it a massive blessing that I'm able to sort of, be able to support her. She helps out in the business, which is good, because I could not do it without her in terms of, all these different bits and pieces she does. But in terms of going out into the world, that's sort of where I'm very, very blessed that I'm able to do that, and we don't need to also send her out. But it's getting worse, Costs are going up. I work long days, and we're still, borderline month to month. Even just looking at rentals. Like if we were to go, okay, having a mortgage is too much, let's look at renting. If we were to rent, closer to where we came from, we'd be paying more or less the same as we are for a mortgage here anyway. And then it's all the other costs that are going up too, and yeah, it's just sad. I stand by, Australia's a beautiful country. But the biggest problem Australia has right now is it's run by a bunch of idiots. And no matter how much they'll squabble among themselves, there's no one side that's going to save the day and one side that's the bad guys. The whole system is just designed right now, anyway, to give more and more power to those in charge and strip more and more freedom away from those who work, who produce, who live and love this country. And it's very sad. Anyway, it's my little rant. It has been genuinely upsetting. Like it's heartbreaking. I love this country, but there's not much that people like me can do to save it. And there's not much that the few good people who get involved can actually do to save this country. I believe, anyway. This is my personal belief. Obviously, everybody holds their own, but it's just what I've noticed. So rather than struggling every day just to kind of cover the basics, cover the bills, I really want to put my life to use. I've talked about the Bible program. I've talked about all these different things that we're looking forward to doing out there. I couldn't do it today, here, where we are. It's just unaffordable. So I want to make sure that we, as a family, we leave a legacy that impacts people positively. We leave the people in our lives better than when we found them, essentially. I want the people who meet us to be blessed as a result of meeting us, not be blessed or worse off. Not just me, but Hannah and Charlie and any other future kids we have as well. Anyway, I've been yapping for 14 minutes, so I better go. Bye.